Hey guys! Welcome to the Whispers of Turkish Stars channel. All the details are in our video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share our video before continuing. Thank you so much. The glittering premiere of Baktaş, led by the charismatic Barış Baktaş, had all the ingredients of a headline-making night: flashing cameras, a packed red carpet, and the inevitable swirl of whispers. But it wasn't the film's buzz alone that stole attention. When Barış stepped onto the carpet without Yagmmer Yüksel, the question on everyone's lips shifted from the movie to the couple: where was Yagmmer? Barış, polished and smiling beneath the lights, fielded questions with his trademark calm. Yet the absence of the woman who so often sparks curiosity with her elegant restraint overshadowed the glamour. It didn't take long for murmurs to ripple through the crowd, and minutes later, those whispers were racing across social media. Why wasn't Yagmmer there? Did they split? Barış Baktaş and Yagmmer Yüksel have always been that rare pairing in the entertainment world, two names constantly on everyone's radar, yet fiercely protective of their personal space. Even when their projects pushed them into the spotlight, they chose subtlety over spectacle. They've never been the couple to flood events arm in arm. Instead, they've leaned on quiet gestures and unspoken understanding. That's why this particular night, this particular absence, felt larger than it might have for anyone else. On the carpet, Barış radiated optimism, laughing with co-stars, greeting fans, and speaking at length about the craft and the story of the film. But when questions veered toward his relationship, he drew a gentle line. It wasn't abrupt, and it wasn't cold, more like a graceful sidestep born out of experience. That silence, graceful, deliberate, and controlled, told a story of its own, and it only fed the storm of speculation swirling outside the venue. Behind the scenes, though, a different version of events took shape. Insiders argued that Yagmmer's absence had nothing to do with a rift. According to those in the know, she was locked into a demanding production schedule, juggling overnight shoots and rehearsals that left no room for a red carpet appearance. The suggestion was simple and practical: she couldn't be in two places at once. Sources close to the couple insisted that nothing had changed between them and that the narrative being pushed online was outpacing reality. But this is the world of celebrity gossip, a place where silence becomes a canvas and everyone paints their own picture. Some fans took the pragmatic route and assumed work was the culprit, that Yagmmer's calendar, meticulously packed and often unpredictable, made any last-minute shift impossible. Others felt the absence couldn't be brushed off so easily, noting that the couple hadn't been spotted together for quite some time. A few pointed to the optics, that Barış, on the cusp of a key moment in his career, stood alone, while Yagmmer's own profiles and stories leaned towards solo snapshots and set life. For all the noise, neither Barış nor Yagmmer stepped in to quiet the crowd. No statement, no denial, no confirmation. And as any longtime follower of their journey knows, that silence doesn't necessarily mean trouble, it's often their way of staying above the chatter. Still, the industry buzzed with fresh claims that a coordinated appearance might be on the horizon, a single moment designed to close the loop on the rumors. The promise of clarity became a storyline of its own. What was undeniable was Barış's demeanor after the premiere. Within his close circle, away from the barrage of microphones, he was easygoing and warm. He discussed scenes, complimented colleagues, and kept returning to the work, the months of preparation behind the film, the choices that made certain moments resonate. When the conversation veered back toward his private life, he returned it to cinema with a deftness that raised eyebrows. Was it calculated? Conscious? Some commentators certainly thought so, reading it as textbook crisis management. Others, more sympathetic to the couple's history, saw a quiet pact to keep their personal life personal. Meanwhile, Yagmmer remained notably silent. She did not post a congratulatory message for the premiere, nor did she share a photo of Barış on the big night. Instead, her recent posts were filled with a different kind of energy: candid clips from long shooting days, moments of laughter between takes, and that polished composure she wears so well when she's deep in a role. To those who admire her, this was proof enough that she had simply chosen to prioritize the work in front of her. To skeptics, it felt like avoidance. Another thread began weaving itself through the gossip columns: perhaps the couple had tightened their already private boundaries even further. It wouldn't be the first time public scrutiny had pushed them to the sidelines, or the first time their names became fodder for a news cycle hungry for drama. The rumor went that constant commentary had worn them thin and that staying out of sight together was their way of protecting what matters. Still, there were those who wanted to assign meaning to the absence itself, insisting that not showing up had symbolic weight. Support at a grand premiere is a statement, they argued, and by steering clear of the cameras, Yagmmer had sent a message. Was it distance? Was it displeasure? The speculation mounted, all of it built on hearsay and a vacuum of facts. For now, that's where things stand, unconfirmed, uncertain, and undeniably compelling. If there's one thing everyone can agree on, it's that their next move matters. A single frame, Barış and Yagmmer side by side, walking out of a restaurant, slipping into a car after a rap party, could end the conversation in an instant. A short, carefully chosen sentence could do it too. But until then, the unspoken becomes the story. There's another layer to all this. Inside the venue, guests kept asking about Yagmmer. Not just fans, but industry figures, producers, and casting directors who'd come expecting to spot her and say a quick hello. Did she cancel at the last minute? One could be heard asking. It was clear that curiosity didn't belong only to the tabloids, it was alive in the room. Later that evening, a few producers, mindful, discreet, tried to glean details from Barış. He met the question with a polite smile and returned to talk of script choices and performances. The choice spoke volumes. Simultaneously, the images appearing on Yagmmer's accounts had a story of their own, sets buzzing with energy, midnight scenes, crew members bundled in jackets under harsh lights. She looked animated, engaged, sharp. The commentary that followed suggested inevitability. If these were her hours, then an appearance at a premiere packed into the same window would have been impossible. The conclusion seemed straightforward. And yet, as always in this business, timing is everything. For those who thrive on subtext, the overlap carried a sting, that a night so meaningful for Barış was one she could not share. It's worth remembering, though, that this isn't their first time in the rumor mill. In the past, similar whispers erupted and then evaporated after the two were seen together, naturally and without fuss, undermining speculation without so much as a caption. They've repeatedly avoided melodrama, shunning turbulent speeches in favor of small, grounded gestures. Crisis, if you could even call it that, has been handled with discretion. Which is why their current stillness shouldn't be misunderstood. To some, it's not distance, it's a stance. A decision made by two people who know how the game is played and would rather not participate in every round. And yet, they are public figures, and public figures live in rhythm with a crowd that wants answers. Expectations, as always, are high. In the next few days, a premiere after-party, an award show, or even a casual cafe sighting could reframe the entire story. One post on Yagmmer's feed, a candid congratulation, a quick behind-the-scenes clip of Barış laughing between interviews, could silence the "did they break up" refrain overnight. If that moment doesn't come, the silence will continue to be interpreted and reinterpreted, reshaped by those who read intention into every pause. For the moment, we're left with commentary and curiosity. A story told half in images and half in guesses, punctuated by unanswered questions. What we do know is that Baktaş Geliyor is an important milestone for Barış, and that the absence of someone significant never passes without note. The rest, the context, the nuance, the feeling behind a choice is theirs to reveal, or not. One final whisper from the night: there were guests who scanned the entrance more than once, hoping for a late arrival. When no familiar figure appeared, the questions persisted. Some said a car slowed outside and then drove on. Others swore they heard someone mention a last-minute call from set. None of it is confirmed, all of it is enticing, and that's exactly how these stories grow. By the end of the evening, as the lights dimmed and the crowd drifted away, Barış remained steadfast. He spoke about collaboration, about trusting his team, about how the film came together under pressure. He thanked the audience with warmth. He did not open the door to anything beyond the work, and perhaps that was the clearest message of all. And so we wait for a picture, a wave, a shared glance caught by a lens. For a soft caption that says everything without saying much at all. The truth, as always, has a habit of arriving quietly, especially with two people who have built their world on quiet choices. The moment it does, the noise will either fall away or roar back louder than before. Until then, the spotlight lingers not only on Baktaş Gilier, but on the space where a familiar pair would usually stand. Whether that space signifies distance or simply the reality of two busy lives is a conclusion everyone seems eager to reach, but only Barış Baktaş and Yagmmer Yüksel can write the ending. And that brings us to the end of our video. If you like our video, don't forget to subscribe to the Whispers of Turkish Stars channel and share it. Goodbye.